Hi, I'm Dave Kavanaugh. My wife Tammy and I are the owners of the three European wax centers here in the inland Northwest. I'd like to talk a little bit about our career progression here at European Wax Center and Inland NorthWax Incorporated, which is our legal entity. One of the great things about working for us is that we are still in the early days of growth at European Wax Center. We have one center that is a little over 4 years old, one that's a little over a year and a half old, and the other one that's just started. So we have a lot of growth in front of us and profitable growth at that. What we want to do is be able to offer those enthusiastic, excited associates of ours the opportunity to move up. We have a fair amount of expectation about being able to move up rather rapidly, and we will provide bonuses for people to achieve those progressions in a very short period of time. But we want everyone to know that no matter where you start in the organization, if you want to move into management eventually, you'll have the opportunity to do that. So what I'd like to do is share with you a little bit about our different career tracks, if you will. We know that people will come to work for us for anywhere from a year to 2 years. Some will make a career out of it. Some will come and leave us after a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. We understand that. We want it to be the best experience possible. We also want to make sure that they have the opportunity to move up and do more and interesting things as they go. So what I'm going to do is I'll start sharing my screen. So we have three primary career paths here at European Wax Center and the Inland North Wax Incorporated family. One can start as a wax specialist. That requires having a license in either aesthetics or cosmetology for the state that our center is in. If we also have some that are involved in the beauty industry, love the beauty industry, but don't have one of those credentials, and they can start as a guest service associate. The wax specialists, of course, are the ones that actually perform the waxing services with our guests back in our private suites. The guest service associates are the ones that are up front, and they manage the flow of guests through the center. They are the first face and the first voice that the first face that our guests see when they walk in the door. They're the first voice that our guests hear on the phone, and they're also the last. They check people in, check people out, help to educate them and make their experience phenomenal. So whether you start in as a wax specialist or a guest service, there's an intensive 7-day training period. Lots of hands-on training for waxers, learning about our wax, which is unique, our unique comfort wax that's exclusively at European Wax Center, learning how to get it to the right consistency, how to put down good strips, how to remove the strips, learning about our products, everything there is to know, and repetitively working with free wax models to do a number of the main services that they're going to be seeing nearly every day. We do the most Brazilians. Bikini Brazilians is our greatest number of services. Eyebrows come in second, and then we also have a number of others. Your underarms are also a simpler service that we'd like them to get experience with. So by the time they come out of that 7 days, they have a lot of experience having done them with free wax models. We allow 30 minutes for them to complete that Bikini Brazilian, and up to 2 other simple facial features like upper lip or chin, something very simple, or a stomach strip, perhaps in their thighs, something very simple. But within that 30 minutes, they pick up their guest, bring them back, perform the service, talk and educate with them about their skincare, bring them back out, introduce potential products, and then drop them off with the guest service associate, and then go back and clean up and get ready for the next guest. So they'll have 30 minutes to do that in training and once they come out of training. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go. So the next level up after that 7 days, they'll then start taking paying guests, and again have that 30 minutes to do the Brazilian. The Brazilian is sort of how we measure the pace and the speed of our speed waxers. So they're a blue level waxer for a period of time. As they get comfortable with the wax, as they get comfortable with the patterns, as they commit to muscle memory, what needs to be done. Probably over the course of the next 4 to 6 weeks, they get to the point where they can actually perform that service in 15 minutes. And that's sort of the first step up. And then they become a white level waxer. So at white, they can do the Brazilian and those two non-eyebrow facial services, or the Brazilian plus a stomach strip or something very simple in 15 minutes. And that's the first step up. And we then have work on efficiency with the waxers, and probably in the course of the next 1 to 3 months, they get to the point where they can do both a Brazilian and one of those two minor facial features and an underarm in the same 15 minutes. And this is the place that we really want our wax specialists to get to very rapidly. So this is the goal, that we get them from that as they enter the organization, they get the training, they start getting more efficient, more effective, and then they can, within 15 minutes, do an underarm on top of any other 15-minute service. So basically a Brazilian, an underarm, and two facial features that are not eyebrows. We will incent our waxers to get there, because if they can get to the orange level, if they can test and effectively do this within 60 days of coming out of training, we'll give them a bonus of $250. If they can make this within 90 days, we'll give them $125. And if they make it within 120 days, we'll give them $75. And by the 120 days or so, most of our waxers should be at this point where they're about ready, or they're nearing the ability to go to orange. If not, we've been working with them, and we'll make sure that they get there. So this is where we want all of our waxers to go, to get to very rapidly. And there's actually one more level of red where our waxers can perform services even faster. That's certainly a possibility, but we don't push on our waxers to become red level. Again, it's about speed. The biggest difference is that they can do a full arm in 15 minutes instead of 30, but they can do far more. But really what we want is for our waxers to get to orange. Now, at that point, we are always looking for our waxers to step up, and we have opportunity in each of our centers to be a Pure Wax trainer. We are always bringing in new people, and so we really are looking for the best, those that are performing the best, those that are really doing a great job and that are interested, can then become peer trainers, and they can work with the new waxers as they come in. They can start doing training, either the entirety of that intensive 7-day startup training, or helping out, being a person that the new waxers can go to, and so forth. And then over time can potentially become a district wax trainer. We don't have one of these right now, but over time, as we grow, we will likely have a position of one person who is a full-time trainer that floats between our different centers and just does wax training. Now, the nice thing about European Wax Center is that, of course, with that, if you have the desire to go off, there are a lot of corporate trainers at EWC that started out in the centers. And if that's the direction you want to go, if you want to travel around the country and teach others how to be good, waxers, or launch centers, or those sorts of things, that's certainly a possibility. But we hope you'll stay with us. And if you choose to go toward the management path, we do have the ability to do that from the waxer side. And that has the ability to go up. If you are a waxer and you want to go into management, we would love for you to go in that path. So that is possible. And I'll talk about how that's possible in just now. So on the other side, the guest services side, these are the folks that learn about our POS system, are educating our guests on our wax passes, on our products, work with the phones, work with the guests in the lobby. And again, similarly, there's a 7-day intensive startup where they learn all those things, do some role playing, start working together with them. They come out, and for a period of time, probably a month or so, they're still working probably half of that time or they're accompanied one-to-one with either the manager or a senior level GSA to get better and better and better. They may be making a few mistakes, but they're moving along faster and faster and making fewer mistakes. Again, they can move up to a white level, and we've got different metrics having to do with wax pass sales and so forth. And then again, we want them to get up to the equivalent of an orange level, where they are proficient at all of the elements of the GSA position, that they are effective at communicating and educating guests on wax passes, on wax pass sales, on working with the POS system, on checking people in and out, on being able to cover even higher volume days, open and close the center, that sort of thing. And so they can work that way. Similarly, we have an even higher, more faster path for GSAs, but we then look for them to be peer trainers and help to mentor the new GSAs that are coming in. And once they get up to this point, then we can start talking about, and again, we don't have a district level GSA trainer, just like we don't yet have a district level wax trainer, but I think that's in our future. That's for growth. So if you really enjoy doing training, both of the other GSAs in the center, or if you'd like to float between the centers and be that specialist that helps them to really improve and come up to speed rapidly, we will over time have that kind of a role as well. But once and the path from GSA, from waxer into the management really has to go through that GSA level, because if you've been waxing this whole time, that's fantastic. You have the vocabulary, you have the skill set, you can help the wax specialists behind the glass, but also you'll need to then also learn and get proficient at the front end, working the POS system, understanding how to work with customer guest issues, if you will, selling wax passes and so forth. And so coming up through this way, then we are constantly looking for people who want to rise in leadership. The first step is as a peer trainer, and then moving up into the management ranks. And where we have for managers, we have, right now we don't have any leads. We might have leads in the future, but really an assistant store manager. These are the folks that are taking on more of the operational responsibilities of the store, helping to fill in when the center manager is not available. And then we'd like to have 2 assistant store managers in each of our centers and 1 center manager. The center manager is responsible for the entire output of the center, the financial output. They're guiding and giving personal one-on-ones to each of the associates. They're helping set personal goals. They're helping to coach. They're making sure everything is running smoothly. The assistant managers are really there to help as trainers, to help point out where things can get better, are looking for ways to improve, but really the assistant managers are not involved in that sort of one-on-one. They'll give input, but the center managers are really the ones that are working with each of the individual associates to make sure that they are doing the best, that they're meeting and exceeding their goals. As we look over time, multi-center, so we may have center managers that come and go. They may be out for a period of time with a medical situation or whatnot. We'd like our assistant managers to be able to step into that role, but we may have the need for one of the center managers to step and look over both, or 2 centers at a time. So there is a role for a multi-center manager, but very much once we get out of the center manager, a district manager role, where this district manager is really responsible for the operational output of all of our locations. And so really this district manager is managing the center managers. They're helping them. They're visiting, they're making sure that each of the centers is doing what it needs to do. They're coaching the center managers to be the best that they possibly can be. They're helping them to troubleshoot issues, or troubleshoot, if we have a multi-center manager, helping them to troubleshoot issues, those sorts of things. And franchisee, if you'd like to become a franchisee in the business, that's certainly an opportunity as well. There are a number of people across the network that have moved up from different operational roles in the center to become franchisees. So if you want to run the whole show, if you want to open your own, or if you want us to sell it to you, we're certainly going to be interested in those people that grow through our organization that may want to be a franchisee sometime in the future. So in any event, this is our set of career paths. If you'd like to have progressions, we do have a set of progressions that you can mark. And as you move up, you are making more and more money. The pay scales are a little different when you bump into the management ranks. The actual bonus bonuses are set up a little bit differently, but this is an opportunity. So depending on what your desire is for leadership, again, we want to bring in the best and the brightest, those that really want to contribute. If you'd like to have a long-term career with us, we'd love to have you do that. If you want a shorter-term career, you can figure out where you'd like to be in this progression and do your best to be there. So that is about our progression, our career progression. Let's stop sharing and come back to me. And hopefully that's informative. If you have any questions, please talk with your manager, your center manager directly, or with us. And like I said, we are always looking for great people. And as you progress and as you get to learn what you're doing and want to move up, we'd like to have the opportunity to give you a very fulfilling career path with us. And we hope you stay here for a long, long time. Thank you so much and have a gorgeous day.